Hello everyone. It's very nice to meet you today. It's very nice to be in Cologne and to see the entire product management community. I've been, as you mentioned, I'm living in Berlin, and I think that seeing such a lovely crowd, I think I'm going to join you more from now on. So. Also, thank you very much to Lisa. Congratulations and happy birthday. And thank you to the organizer team, especially to Simonetta, because this talk is actually her fault. We have met last year when we ran a masterclass together. And she said, you know, come here and tell your story, tell what worked in your experience in building digital products, and especially what didn't work, and also tell us how you survived it all. So here I am. And I have a question because I want to get to know you a bit better. Who here has been working or is working in B2C? Maybe raise your hand. Okay, so not that many. So I assume that the rest of you are working in B2B, right? Okay, I see some nodding heads. Well, you know, when I have this idea that is very difficult to build digital products and B2C digital products, because you have to worry about the customers, worry about retention, conversion, everything that they do and how they're using your product in a different way that you anticipated. Then I'm thinking about my B2B colleagues that have to worry about Greg from sales, who yeah, sorry, who, it's not about you, who just sold different updates and different initiatives on the same slide. So your work is very, very challenging. But yeah, building digital products is something that I've been doing for almost the past 2 decades. So I started, or let's say my journey started in doing strategy and working in digital agencies. At the very beginning, without the title of product, but with the same mission to make digital products and digital experiences better. So in the meanwhile, I grew different companies, founded different companies, and for the past 9 years, I've been at Zalando, leading the strategy for Lounge, also growing Lounge. Maybe you know about Zalando Lounge, who's the off-price business model, and also let's say getting the beauty experience off the ground. And the latest initiative, or my last initiative while I was there, was launching from scratch the digital experience for designer and luxury. And as you mentioned, I left that path 2 months ago in order to build my own company and to consult others in doing the same. And you know what I wanted to talk, or when I was thinking what to talk to you about, was what works. And then I thought that it's actually more interesting to think about what doesn't work, or what are, let's say, different failures when you're trying to build the B2C digital product. And then I actually realized that for the past years, the majority of the initiatives have actually been a success. And this is not because, you know, I'm a unicorn, the team is a unicorn, we're exceptional, but it's because we found a way on what you can do in order to, you know, get from idea to execution to launch to scale in a way that is actually bringing impact. And I could say that I tested this way for quite a lot of initiatives. It usually works on bigger ones, or let's say on when you want to bring quite a lot of impact. And I can say that in order to do that, it needs to come from one core idea. And that one is, I have a question. Does anyone know what that could be? What could be the, let's say, propeller of bringing great impact from the very beginning? No thoughts? Any thoughts?
Really understanding a problem or a need.
Mm-hmm. That is good. That is good. That is definitely one part. And another part, which has been in my experience, if you want to bring really big impact, is actually challenging the status quo and wanting to do a big change. And when we're talking about change, is a lot about, you know, how can we improve all the time what we are having right now? How can we make it even better, even better? And in many cases, it's not only tweaking some small aspects, but it's actually like really coming and really trying to challenge yourself and the team with a bold idea. And I'm going to share a few of, let's say, a few of the stories and also some steps that worked, particularly for my work at Zalando, because my recent work as a consultant is relatively short right now. And I'm also looking to hear your questions and your experiences. So one of the first aspects, which is very much tied to what you said, is that discovery and product discovery is still your best friend. And why I'm saying still, because right now product discovery has a bit of a crisis, and you know, nobody wants to do product discovery. It's very vague, it looks very long, and anyway, we kind of know what we should do. So this is why many teams, especially in 2025, are leaving it aside, or they're not doing it properly. But actually, the only way in how you can de-risk your approach is by doing discovery. And when I'm saying that, because everyone is saying, yeah, do discovery, this is very, very classical, I'm not thinking, okay, right now we have a time when we are doing discovery. For the next week, month, whatever, we are doing discovery, we're in discovery phase, please don't bother us. So what I'm saying is to integrate different pieces of discovery during your cycle in order to really de-risk your approach and your idea. And when we built the designer experience or the luxury experience, we actually started with validating whether this is a space where that we want to do. So we started with quantitative discovery to basically do an analysis to really understand the market, and also we started talking to various partners and potential partners to really understand what they want. We also talked to customers, and we wanted to see what really is a luxury customer wanting, because at Zalando prior to that we didn't really have them. And this also, very important, didn't take a very long amount of time. It was done very, very quickly. And I would say that this work at the very beginning, it really shaped our entire approach, because we really understood what works, was the impact, was the potential impact, and also what maybe doesn't work and what clients don't want. And then when we had our solution, or let's say first iteration, what we did, we started to validate it with customers. And again, this didn't take very long, but we brought together various luxury customers. That was very challenging, because it's very difficult to get a luxury customer to talk to you and to show how they're buying and what do they like. And again, that helped us not to go into a wrong direction, because what has happened, we were so proud of our solution. We said, here is our solution, dear customer, do you like it? And yeah, the majority of the feedback was good, but in many cases they said, this doesn't make sense. It's not moving the needle. I wouldn't necessarily buy that, or I don't really care. So it really helped us down the road to understand what is the most impactful experience that we could launch. And also when we had various time constraints, this was really, really powerful. And then it's, let's say we built the experience, but then again, we wanted to really understand whether this is working or if we want to improve it a little bit longer. And this is the moment when we started doing again validation, and in our case this meant doing tests and A/B tests to really understand what is working and what not. And actually we still found different aspects. And I would say that after 1 year of doing that, the designer experience actually went into profitability as position number 2. And I remember another project where, let's say, in our area we did so much discovery in 1 year that we were able to say already from the beginning, this is working, this is not going to work, this problem is existing, this solution is not going to work. And sometimes stakeholders or senior management thought that we have like a magic bowl and we can read the future, but no, it was just by talking to the customers. And because I said at the beginning, that discovery right now is in a very challenging space. I think that what needs to happen in order, because who is doing discovery and is getting a pushback, let's say from your team, from management, do you experience that? Only one? Okay, yeah. So if I ask this question in Berlin, I see a lot of nodding heads. So I'm not sure, if Berlin is a bit different. But what is important is to actually, think about the process and stick to the process, because the process is working. But what is not working, or what can be very challenging, is the length and how long is everything taking. So thinking of how you can do everything in a very short amount of time. So for example, we got all of the discovery in maybe 1 to 3 days, and that was actually quite a big one. And it's a lot about applying the process, but making it very smooth, very fast, and thinking about what are the insights that are actually going to help me to move forward. It's not about, okay, let's do a huge discovery and then we figure out what's happening. Maybe what happened very much to our team. Okay, we did this huge discovery, very beautiful, and then half of it we didn't really use because it wasn't helpful. So then what we realized is that, okay, let's see what we really need in order to get some validation that what we're doing is good, so that we're moving a little bit further. So either that we're doing the solution, or we're going, let's say, or we're following one problem, or we're following one solution, or our launch is successful. But really thinking, what do we actually miss? And this usually comes from shifting the mindset and also the communication to stakeholders. What I tried a lot is, especially to senior management, not telling that we're doing discovery, but saying that we're de-risking the approach. And this is usually what works like magic. So if you're going to hear more about that, then The next one, or let's say the next direction that was really, really crucial in all of the products that I've built in my experience was going beyond the obvious solution. And of course, I'm not saying that whenever you have a problem and it's like super clear that, I don't know, you need to add a button there, that you should like reinvent the wheel. But if you have a bit of a more complex problem, ideally go beyond the obvious solution. So when I was asked to lead the designer initiative, let's say the initial mandate was the team should do the exact Zalando experience, but in black and white. Of course, this is relatively easy, right? And this was the moment when I told my team, you know, we have a really good window opportunity to really show what a great experience could look like. And let's imagine how would the best luxury experience look like, and then take it from there. So what we started doing, we really thought far away, and then we kind of looked, okay, so what is actually feasible from all of that? And of course, let's say there was a difference between all of the aspects that we imagined, but what came out was actually very, very good. And then I remember that another product manager asked me, why didn't you start from already what is out there, right? And then just trying to improve different aspects. And the reason is exactly, you know, I'm curious if anyone has heard about the 11-star experience methodology from Airbnb. Okay, one. So I will tell you what is this about. And what we usually do is we apply the methods, or let's say the mindset, more of the mindset, not that, okay, well, now we have to do everything that the method has, but basically really thinking, you know, what is the regular experience, and the regular experience is what the customers want. So you ask the customer, what is the solution, or you ask the partners, what is the expected solution, and they will tell you, and then this is, let's say, the 5 experience. But the idea is more to challenge yourself as a team. Okay, what could be more and more and more, let's say like a 10-star experience. And then what's going to happen is that you won't be able to build the 10-star experience, but you're going to be able to build maybe a 6 or a 7. And this is way beyond, let's say, the expected one. And another aspect that we did very much in that project, but actually with all of the initiatives that we've built, also with all of the clients that I've worked with, is to use the power of collective knowledge, especially when thinking about the solution. And this means that we were creating workshops and bringing along different people from various departments. So from sales, actually the salespeople were the most valuable ones in ideas, because they really talk to the customers. Customer support, supply, whoever you are working with and makes sense. This is what we used to bring, and we were thinking together, what could the best solution look like? And I could say that all the times doing these types of workshops helped us to come up with ideas that we were not able to come up by ourselves. And another thing that it helped us was basically to involve everyone from the beginning. This is how they were feeling very much into the entire team. They were actually very excited about the idea, and then they weren't challenging at the end, hey, why are we doing this? Why shouldn't we do this other idea? And everyone felt heard, and everyone was kind of pushing in the same direction. And another aspect that worked really well, especially when we were getting stuck, was to look outside of the industry. Because if you always look at the competitors, most probably you're going to, go in the same, build a similar solution, or I don't know, somebody says, oh, let's build what this competitor did, but you don't know why they are building it. So we liked to think of similar situations or different industries that could help us. So, for example, when we looked at the beauty experience, at that time, beauty was very new to Zalando, and it was completely different from fashion. So, to be honest, we had no clue how to build it, and we started looking into how are customers consuming fashion and beauty magazines. And we looked at printing, and also what we looked, for example, of what is happening in Korea, because the Korean market for beauty is very advanced, and there you can find incredible technologies, incredible products, and this is how we really got a lot of interesting ideas. Another example of doing that, for example, I'm working right now with a client, and we're thinking of what is the experience for their new customers and how they can get engaged and loyal very fast. And we are thinking of it as in the area of online dating or dating in general, right? Because it's the same principle of two parties meeting, and in the end, hopefully they have to like each other or not, but we are looking at the happy path, and we're thinking, how would we treat our experience as going to an online to a date and getting engaged with the other one, which is our customer. And I would say that none of the aspects and none of the good numbers for the experiences that we got could have been done without having the support of the team and getting the buy-in from the entire team, especially from senior management. And usually when we're thinking, or at least when we're thinking to get the buy-in, we mostly think about getting the buy-in from senior stakeholders, right? Because they have the budget and they can come and say, no, you're not doing that, or here is something that you have to do. But it's actually everyone who you're working relatively close to. So first is your cross-functional team or your team. You have to make them be excited. So, for example, when we started, or actually when we started every new project, every new initiative, the cross-functional team was usually relatively large, or at least in my experiences that I was leading. So it was relatively large. So first, it was very much about getting everyone on the same page, sharing the vision, getting them very close to the problem, but also explaining and showing what is the benefit that we're going to bring. So for the entire team, it was really, really impactful, especially for the designer experience, when it was relatively new, so we had to build something completely different. It was very engaging for everyone to look into the potential numbers and how much impact they could bring. And this really, really motivated them. And then hearing what the partners say, what the customers say, this was already, getting everyone very excited. And then, of course, the peer stakeholders. So I mentioned about them as part of the workshops. We kept everyone very much into the loop, involving them when creating the solution, when thinking about the problem, and really working together. And what happened was that, let's say the cross-functional team and the peer stakeholder got to be so excited that they were talking about, their excitement and what they're doing with their managers. And then their managers were talking to the senior stakeholders. So then when we arrived to, talking to the senior stakeholders, everyone was kind of, yeah, we're going to do that. So that went really, really good. But of course, and of course your managers. And of course, it didn't work all the time that everyone was excited when you talk to the senior stakeholders. But from my experience, let's say there were three key moments when it was really crucial to share some important information with them. So one was at the very beginning when we were saying, okay, this is what we want to do, this is the problem, and this is how much we believe that we're going to achieve. And usually in B2C, the numbers, and especially in e-commerce, the numbers are the key. How much we're going to achieve with that. The next important, let's say, milestone was the solution that we were proposing, and making sure that it's an innovative solution, it's a new solution, it's well thought through, but also explaining and showing how everything is coming together into the big picture. So not only, okay, we want to do designer, this is what we're planning, but how is this going to improve the entire Zalando? How is this going to improve PR and communication and shares and all of that? And then the other part that was really, really important is for senior stakeholders to also see that we're making progress and that everyone was excited. I remember that we, especially when we arrived in the execution stage, we had almost each week that was, I'd say, very challenging. So we needed to maybe to get more people. We needed to, change the approach. We needed to delay the launch or just stick to it. It was a bit of a roller coaster. And since the senior stakeholders were very much into everything, it kind of felt that we were all moving together and we were all contributing. So it didn't feel that, we have to convince them and we have to help or to get them to say yes. But it was all because, we managed to convince everyone, we managed to get everyone on the same page and to be excited, and also that we were showing the impact, showing how everything is benefiting to the big picture, and also showing some active progress. Yeah, and I would say that it can also happen in a different way. I have another example where that was a really, let's say, a relatively new approach back then, and we basically wanted to connect all of the Zalando applications and to bring them into, or let's say, to enable customers to work on different. Whatever the customer was interested in, we were serving it. So, for example, let's say they're interested in premium stuff, you focus on the designer part. They're interested in beauty, then only beauty. Let's say they don't want to spend a lot of budget, then maybe you show lounge first. And that idea was back then very new to all of the teams. So when I was talking to all of the teams, so number 1 and number 2, everyone was like, yeah, we're not doing this at Zalando. And what actually worked is that I found some of the senior stakeholders that really thought, maybe this is a good idea. And basically, by having them interested and connected to that approach, we basically managed to convince everyone in that circle. So basically, both approaches work. And in the end, it's building products is very difficult, whether you're B2C, whether you're B2B, but in my experience, you don't need magic in order to achieve great results, but you need a lot of curiosity. You need to ask the right questions. You need to have also courage to challenge the status quo, and also you need to align not only the ideas but also the people around you, because they matter the most. And I wanted to share some pieces of from my experience, not as a framework or as a blueprint, but more as a mirror. And I hope that it can inspire you maybe to think of your next idea in a different way, or to ask a bigger question maybe in your next meeting, or maybe just realizing that whatever you're doing as a product manager and that hard work is really mattering. So I'm also interested to hear your stories and to hear your questions. So please feel free to share them, or also connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can discuss further. Thank you very much.